Greetings, family. I made it to one of my destinations. So I told you all last night that I was traveling. I'm going to the Midwest to see family. So I live in Jacksonville and I was supposed to travel out of Charlotte last night, but that flight was delayed like 6 or 7 times and then it was finally canceled. So I went home, went to sleep, and realized while I was at the airport that something's going on. I went to sleep and rerouted my flight from Jacksonville. Instead of going to Charlotte, I was going to Miami. So I took the trip this morning from Jacksonville to Miami. Let me know that you can hear me. Check in. And now I'm in Miami and on my way to the Midwest to Tennessee to visit family. So while I was going through all that drama last night, my flight got canceled 6 times. I realized that there is something going on, not only domestically, but worldwide as well. So I just wanted to update you. I didn't know that there was a warning for us traveling abroad, and allegedly they didn't want us traveling domestically due to weather. But when I looked at where this inclement weather was, like these states seem so unrelated and these cities seem so unrelated. For example, can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. So I did make it to Miami. I was supposed to go from Jacksonville to Charlotte and then to Tennessee. Well, I got rerouted from Jacksonville to Miami and then to Tennessee. I'm supposed to leave here in about start boarding about 15 minutes, so I won't be long and then go into Tennessee. Thank you for all your prayers and everybody telling me you know better than traveling right now because of all the things that are going politically. I just needed to see my family for some reason. But thank you all for your prayers and your warnings. So you look in here, you see that more than 1,100 flights were delayed or canceled across the United States as Spirit, Delta, American, United, JetBlue, Qatar, Korean, Swiss, Virginian Atlantic, TAP Air Portugal, Emirates, Singapore, Air Canada, LATAM, and more face new disruptions. JFK Airport, Miami, Newark, Chicago, Charlotte, and Atlanta amid severe weather. Now, look at all these cities and states and different countries. You mean there's severe weather going on everywhere at the same time? So while I was in a line, I spoke to a woman who was an American flight attendant, American airline flight attendant, and she was like, "We don't even know what's going on." So she helped me redirect my flight last night from last night to this morning. She said, "I didn't even know there was anything going on with the weather. I didn't have any idea. They're not telling us anything." And she said, "But American Airlines is having more problems than just weather." She said, "We had problems with airplanes, mechanical issues." And she said, they didn't even tell us till the last minute that something was going on. She had to look it up herself. So this talks about what's happening in America. From coast to coast, airlines scramble to keep up with turbulent skies and sudden weather shifts. In total, 1,094 delays and 32 cancellations were reported across just 7 airports, bringing widespread travel headaches to thousands. So I knew something was going on last night when I saw that. Grand Rising family, I see you all here. Yeah, it sounds like they're rebooting the financial system. I can see that, Chief. The flight attendant, she was a sister, was telling me that something was going on mechanically and with the system. She was like, "I don't know what it is, but this is weird." How long have I been on here? Just a few. Somebody let me know how long I've been on so I can hurry up and go. So here's something else I wanted to show you all. United States Department issues worldwide warning for Americans traveling abroad. The advisory issued on June 22nd came amid the Iran-Israel war and one day after the United States attacked the Iranian nuclear 3 power plants that were in Iran. They said the U.S. State Department issued a global travel advisory on June 22nd, urging Americans abroad to exercise increased caution. The worldwide caution alert came one day after the United States attacked nuclear sites in Iran and cites potential demonstrations and airspace closure across the Middle East, excuse me. So they're saying there might have some demonstrations against Americans, more protests. The DOS stated there is the potential for demonstrations against United States citizens and interests abroad. So something is going on politically. They're probably rebooting the system. You know, in order for them to reboot an economic system, they always blame it on war, right? War leads to a rebooting of the economic system. So this war could be really contrived, maybe not a real war, but they're saying that it's a war against America against Israel, striking Israel because America striking Iran because the Iran-Israel conflict. But I really think this is just another excuse for them to reboot the financial system, which we're talking about the quantum financial system, a return to the gold and silver standard, and a return to sovereignty globally. Now, why do I say globally? Because remember, President Trump just brokered trade deals.
Attention in the terminal. This will serve as a final and immediate boarding call for all passengers with a confirmed ticket on American Airlines Flight 1089, service operation on Barbados through Gaimard D23, final and immediate boarding call.
Remember, President Trump just brokered trillions of dollars in trade deals in the Middle East. And it was Israel that said they felt left out because he didn't go through Israel and he didn't make any trade deals with Israel, right? So they said they were felt left out. And the articles suggest that Trump brokered trillions of dollars in trade deals between us, the Middle East, and Middle Eastern nations doing business together. And he brokered world peace while he was in the Middle East. Also, what the mainstream media didn't tell everybody is that he also brokered a trade deal with China. So you're talking about the two largest economies, America and China, brokering a trade deal, which now makes it so that all countries all over the world have brokered trade deals. They're going to follow America and China. Also, this means that the RV, or revaluation of currencies, is imminent. Okay, in order to do trade with each other, their currencies have to be one-on-one with each other. They have to be on par with each other. Remember, Trump said he was creating a level playing field. The revaluation of currencies is about to happen right now. You can quote Dr. Kia Pruitt saying that. The RV, revaluation of currencies, and global currency reset happening right now. This is a great really smokescreen. It's a great distraction for everybody. You know, it's a war going on over here, okay? And then meanwhile, people are at the bank exchanging their currencies. So get in on this greatest wealth transference in history. As Chief says, they're not telling us the truth. Why they grounded these 1,100 airplanes worldwide? That sounds like a reboot or a resetting of the system. I agree. Chief, I'm going to give you a minute to speak if you like to, and then I'm going to leave in about 5 minutes to go start this boarding process. But I want to show you, I sent you an email just in case you feel like talking, Chief. Let me guys show you this last warning that I just came across. I'll put all these articles in the description section for you. I hope you guys can hear me. Here it is. I'm at the airport in Miami, family, on my way to Tennessee, which is Egypt, by the way. Let's see. This was on Twitter. You can Google all this, and I'll put it in the description section. Worldwide caution. The conflict between Israel and Iran has resulted in disruptions to travel and periodic closure of airspace across the Middle East. There is the potential for demonstrations against United States citizens and interests abroad. The Department of State advises United States citizens worldwide to execute increased caution. Please read carefully our travel advisory, country information, and any recent security alerts when planning travel. Here's where you can look. This is the alert. This was on Twitter. As you all know, we talked about last night how embassies were closing all across the globe. United States embassies closing. And people are thinking that's about the war between Israel and Iran. And they're also saying it possibly because America struck the Iranian nuclear power plants. And they're telling everybody, you should be afraid, leave America. But what I'm telling you is that embassies have been closing around the world for a long time. In fact, they were closing in 2024. And back then they were saying they were closing because of what was going on in Ukraine with Putin going into the Ukraine with the Ukrainian war, which was really Putin going in to clean out the deep underground military bases and exposing what was going on with the corruption and underground trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, etc. Hey, Chief, welcome. What do you have to say?
Greetings, Dr. Kid and Soul family.
Greetings, love.
You and I had talked briefly. We had talked actually 2 or 3 times yesterday. When the last time you called, the chief, they had grounded at the time. They had grounded the planes. I think it was the 5th time they had did it. And so far, you said it happened 6 times, right? Guys, let me tell you something. This is a distraction, okay?
Yes, sir.
And with each distraction, most of them are coded. Listen to the numbers that they use. They're always using like a 6 or 3, 9, or numbers adding up to that, like a 27 or 27 that equals 9, or a 33 that equals 6. They're
Mm-hmm.
always constantly coding things to let people. This is how they speak a language to those in knowing. But why all of a sudden at one time all planes are, oh, you said over 1,100?
1,100 flights, yes.
That's a coded number. 11.
Right, 11. 11 is a portal. It's a doorway out with
Oh,
the
that.
old, in with the new.
Oh,
And remember, Pope opened the Jubilee portals
yeah.
starting Christmas Eve. He opened several of them last year, 2024. There you go. 11 is a portal.
E- yes, and
Preach,
even
Chief.
when they were talking about the so-called war, they used coded numbers, guys. So this is why I tell people to control your emotions. You shouldn't let anybody dictate or have control over the way you feel, because if they realize that, they're going to toy with you.
Ladies and
So
gentlemen, this is the final call for flight
Hold on.
1917 north of Savisto, Santiago. Passenger
I'll
Brito,
keep
Victoria,
talking. I'll
Romeo,
mute my end.
I can hear. Yeah. So this is why I'm practicing on uh, my emotions, controlling my emotions, the way people try to make me feel. I control that because people can be treacherous, and this system is treacherous because there's a lot of people out there that believes that they're scared, they're petrified. This happening is, well, they want to try to keep people's mind off of any type of wealth transfer or anything. They do all travel to get from point A to point B. They want to scare people into being still, and pushing fear on people. And fear stops you it stops you from advancing. That's the purpose of fear. It stops you from advancing. And these entities, they studied us like lab rats, and they know what. So I told Dr. Kidd, I told you, I said, I believe that that is a reboot or a reset that's happening, guys. That's what I believe is happening. This so-called war causes resets. War causes a breakdown in the financial system. It can happen. Then we got a so-called all 11 planet guys. This reset, this jubilee, it's right around the corner. See, for me, I'm not scared. To me, I'm like, bring it on. Bring the circus. Bring the stage play. Bring it on. Bring it. Because that's telling a person like me with the mindset that I have
Bring it
that
on.
it is about to go down, guys. So you need to have your affairs in order. You have
Final
to,
word, Chief. I gotta go to my gate. Final words.
yeah, but in find works, guys, just be prepared, get your trust, get your affairs in order, continue to pray, and just tell the creator, or your creator, thank you already in advance, be happy, and be able to change lives and operate with honor. Don't be easily upset and angry. Stop being too wishy-washy, guys. This things about to change in our life, but we're going to break generational curses, guys.
Thank you, Chief. Rob says it's all a scare tactic on American citizens. Tourism money is so far down in America. Now Trump got to put fear into the hearts of Americans so they won't travel and put money into other nations, is what Rob thinks. I think we.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final call for Flight 1127. Non-stop service to Medellin, Colombia.
We know that they always have economic reset and financial reset after a war. So they have to stage this whole war scenario so they can turn over and reset the system, like you said, Chief. This has happened historically. And as a matter of fact, at the end of every empire, they always rack up the debt, spend as much money as they can, print out as much money as they can, and then they crash that system and create and go back to the gold standard. That's called the crack up boom. Look it up. That's what we're experiencing. It's the end of a system. United States Incorporated is collapsing. The deep state, the cabal, all those entities that took over our republic here in America and republics all over the world and common law all over the world, those entities, they're being dismantled. And Trump was the one who was chosen to lead that task. When you look at motu proprio, which is a speech by Pope Francis, he said this in 2014 that it would all happen. And he said, we have to stand down. And here we are. We're living in that time right now. So be encouraged. Be excited, family. Do what we said. Get you some silver and gold if you can. Get you some foreign currencies. It's about to go down. We are returning to the gold standard, which is why 45 states in America have repealed the state sales tax from the sales of silver and gold, because they are acknowledging that you cannot tax silver and gold because it's real money. And the last 5 remaining states will do the same this year. It's why the BRICS bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and all the nations that join stop trading with the dollar. It's why the Shanghai Corporation, all the Asian nations stop trading with the dollar, and they're all using their local currencies backed by silver and gold. And they repatriated their gold from the Vatican, and that's why the Pope is dead. His time is up. And they work with other countries to return their stolen money. Also, you see rare earth minerals being discovered. All these nations are aligning with each other, doing trade agreements, giving each other gifts, rare earth minerals. The mines in the United States are opening up. It's on. Oh, gotta go, Chief. I love you.
See you guys. Y'all take care.
We love you, Soul Tribe. Take care. Sorry about the noise. Bye. I gotta go board. Love y'all. Take care. Thank you for being here, everybody. Love you, Chief. Talk to you soon. When I get to Tennessee, I'll call you. Go make this a great day. You've heard from Chief Mac. I'm Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you all to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Go out and make this a great day. Peace.